Team 10 coverage tonight. We are spread out across Pawtucket working to get you answers.
It's a very active crime scene at Dennis Lynch Hockey Arena in Pawtucket. Dan Janig and Gene Valicenti are near the scene of the shooting, and they're live with an update on what's happening right now. Dan?
Yeah, so we want to come on the air with some breaking news here at 6 o'clock. And this is information based on my top law enforcement source, who now tells me that it appears police are investigating a father who showed up at this arena at a hockey game that one of his children was playing in. And according to at least two witnesses and my source, the father was dressed, would appear to be in women's clothing, may have had a pocketbook, so much so that when he came in, a couple of people were just kind of, surprised and may even took photos of him. We also know that he targeted his family, and there were several family members here. We don't know if all of the victims are family, but we do know at least one of them is, based on source information. Now, Gene, you and me both have some source information that we don't want to share yet because we're not 100% with it, but it appears at this point this is a family tragedy that played out in a public arena.
I think it's safe to say that in the end, the shooter, whomever that shooter is, and the other two people who were killed, at least one of them is a family member. The other one may have been peripheral. We don't know that yet, and that may change.
Right.
Some of the other people who were injured may also be family members. So it appears most of those either killed or injured were family members. There may be someone who was not related but very close to them.
This is this is a family tragedy that didn't play out at a home. It played out in a hockey arena where maybe all the family was gathered to watch their child play in a game.
I think it might have been a crime of opportunity. There may have been some other relatives there at the time.
Right.
I also think that so many people know this particular family. They're players, that this information will gel and solidify very, very shortly. We'll get, I already have names and relationships. I'm not going to go with it, though, just because it's very fluid. We'll wait for the police to give it to us.
Let the police do their job, but we just want to give you what we know. We did talk to a witness who lived across the street, and he came home and noticed people running for their lives, parents grabbing kids, and here's what he told Gene and I just a little while ago.
It's my community, this is my home, after what happened at Brown, happening so soon, especially as, 200 feet from where I live, I just never thought that something like this would happen, especially with kids involved. It's something I can't really wrap my head around.
Are you born and raised in Pawtucket? Local?
Pretty emotional from that witness who lives across the street. Meanwhile, back here at the scene, Dexter Street's open. We're seeing police arrive, and we're seeing parents with children in hockey gear. Most of them put in the back seat because of the dark windows, and they're leaving. And some of the faces of those hockey players, it would bring you to tears.
Yeah, we just saw a family just went in, and the kid was still in his hockey uniform. So some of them fled. Some of them have been interrogated elsewhere. Some of them have been kept in the building, and they're leaving. I just want to tell you, we're about a half a block down from the arena. We've seen a number of members of the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, a federal agency. We've seen people with FBI jackets on, also state police and local police. All right.
Mass shooting, right?
Mass shooting.
Mass shooting, federal gets involved to assist with local leading police. And just so you give us an idea, Gene and I are right here at the epicenter of this ground zero. Our colleague Leanna is just up the road where the press conference took place earlier. And then on the backside is Brian Crandall,
who we're going to go to now, because Brian's going to pick up our coverage. He's directly opposite us. Brian, you take it.
Yeah, Gene, Dan, this appears where some of the players at least came out in those frantic moments after the shooting. Police are still blocking off this area here on Broad Street. Broad Street itself is now open, but some of the players, it seems, came out onto Broad Street and went into a nearby convenience store. We've been showing that video of the moments of the shooting on the ice. It was the first period of this hockey game. We spoke to a player, the goalie for the Coventry Johnston team, who was on the ice at that moment. Here's what he told us about what happened.
I was on the ice, and I thought it was balloons at first. It was like bop, bop, and I thought it was balloons. But it just kept going, and it was actually gunshots. And after the gunshots, me and my teammates ran right to the locker room, and we just bunkered up and we pressed against. My bad. I'm sorry. We pressed against the door and just tried to stay safe down in there. But no, it was very scary. We were very nervous.
Where did the shots come from? Do you know?
Yeah, it was the far side. So I was on the where the Zamboni is. It was the far side of the building, on the opposing side's bench. Yeah, it was scary. It was a lot of shots.
How many?
I think I heard 14.
Did you see where the people who were shot were?
I did not see. I was so nervous. I went down and then I ran.
And the good news, none of the players were hurt as they got off the ice. None of them were shot, it appears, again, as there was apparently more than a dozen shots that were fired in the stands. And again, some of them went to the locker room. That player, the goalie, Owen Lawrence, told us it was about 20 minutes before police officers came in and they felt relief. We also talked to his mom, who said it was like the most emotional day of her life again, and then they were reunited after. But just chaotic moments for the people on the ice and, of course, the people in the stands here in this afternoon holiday hockey game between the two teams, one from Coventry and Johnston, the other from St. Ray's, PCD, North Smithfield, and North Providence. Now, as Dan and Jean mentioned, we have multiple crews on the scene. Let's get to our colleague Leanna Falk, who was at the press conference a little while ago with authorities who had a little bit more information. Leanna?
Yeah, Brian, you mentioned the chaos that erupted in the aftermath of this shooting, which the police chief described as a targeted act of violence, and it's one that likely spilled out into this broader community here in Pawtucket. From where I'm standing, I'm at Dexter and Barton, one of the main roads in this area. Lots of different shops and stores. We're in the parking lot of an AutoZone. There's a Domino's and a Dunkin' right across the street, and for several hours, this street right behind me, Dexter, was completely blocked off with a Pawtucket police cruiser as investigators were continuing their investigation. Now, again, they have called this a targeted act of violence. They say there's a possible connection, a family dispute that essentially erupted inside of this high school hockey game and resulting in 6 people being shot, 2 victims, the suspect that was also found dead, and then also 3 people who are currently in critical condition at this hour. Now, we know that this was a high school game. Multiple games are going on throughout the day involving several different co-ops teams, and we know that, again, they've called this targeted. This was not random. This situation happened because police have called it, again, a possible family dispute. They haven't given many details regarding the extent of that as far as a motive, who the shooter was, any details on who these victims were, but we know that this was targeted and it was likely a family dispute. We have more sound from the chief on this. Take a listen.
It appears that this was a targeted event, that it may be a family dispute. We cannot release the names of the victims because obviously we want to speak to the family, make sure that the family is well aware of what happened before we release that information publicly.
Now, detectives are currently, they say, interviewing witnesses. This was a packed house. This arena was full of people and onlookers. Patrice has mentioned it throughout our coverage this evening that there were likely several parents that were taking videos of their students, of their children as they were out on the ice. So right now, it is all hands on deck to figure out what exactly led to the moment that gunfire erupted at a high school hockey game. Back to you.